One of music's biggest stars faces justice in a New York courthouse. Justin Timberlake, the former boy band singer turned solo pop star, pleading guilty Friday following a June arrest for driving while impaired. Timberlake entered his plea and accepted his sentence in a single appearance in front of a judge in the Hamptons.
Justin Timberlake, singer, actor, and a pop icon, found himself in an unexpected spotlight. One fateful night, JT's life went off script in a way even his fans couldn't predict.
Justin Timberlake was arrested overnight in New York for driving while intoxicated. The singer was taken into custody in the Hamptons late last night. He is reported to still be in custody with an arraignment set for today. He is in the middle of his world tour with shows scheduled in Chicago this weekend.
Timberlake's night went from a fun outing with friends to a PR nightmare. How did it all happen? How did one casual night lead to handcuffs, memes, and a guilty plea? June 17th, 2024. It was just another Monday night in the seemingly perfect life of Justin Timberlake. He was at the American Hotel, a classy boutique establishment known for hosting A-listers and providing high-end luxury. It wasn't just any hangout spot. This place even offers a 75-foot yacht for rent, which hints at the kind of company Timberlake was keeping. JT's night started off much more low-key. He was enjoying himself, just hanging out with friends. Sources said Timberlake seemed a little tipsy and drunk, but not in a belligerent way. A source later told ET, Justin was with his friends Monday night at the American Hotel and really enjoying himself. When he left and got in his car, he revved his engine a few times. Another source tells ET, Justin and his party arrived after 10 p.m. and were full of energy. He was with a group of around 6 to 7 people, including men, women, and some young adults. There wasn't anyone in the dining room, but there were a few people still drinking at the bar. It was surprising to see them show up so late because the restaurant was pretty much closed by the time they got there. Seems like when you're JT, rules are meant to be bent, right? Fast forward to the early morning hours of June 18th, and Timberlake's night was about to go from relaxed to reckless. At approximately 12:37 a.m., JT was spotted driving his 2025 gray BMW through Sag Harbor on Madison Street. This wasn't a leisurely cruise. Police observed Timberlake blow through a stop sign at the intersection of Madison Street and Germain Avenue. That's a clear red flag for any cop, but JT didn't stop there. Officers also noticed that Timberlake couldn't stay in his lane. Sag Harbor police initiated a traffic stop, and upon further investigation, they determined that Mr. Timberlake was operating his vehicle in an intoxicated condition. He was officially placed under arrest. Cops say they observed Timberlake fail to stay in his lane. At this point, cops say they pulled the singer over and, upon contact with Timberlake, it was ascertained that he was operating said vehicle in intoxicated conditions, and that his eyes were bloodshot and glassy. A strong odor of an alcoholic beverage was emanating from his breath. He was unable to divide attention. He had slowed speech, he was unsteady afoot, and he performed poorly on all standardized field sobriety tests. He also refused to perform the breathalyzer test, but did admit that he had one martini and was following his friends home. Soon, a statement was released by the Sag Harbor Police Department. A traffic stop was initiated by a police officer from the Sag Harbor Village Police Department, and upon investigation, it was determined that Mr. Timberlake was operating his vehicle in an intoxicated condition. Mr. Timberlake was placed under arrest, processed, and held overnight for morning arraignment.
Welcome back to ABC News Live. First, we have breaking news. A law enforcement official tells ABC News pop star Justin Timberlake was arrested overnight for driving while intoxicated. The Grammy winner is set to appear in court today after his arrest in Sag Harbor, New York. This is a developing story. We are just getting those details in. If we have any updates, we will bring those to you.
But here's where things get awkward. The young Sag Harbor officer who pulled him over, he didn't even realize who Timberlake was at first.
He was once at the top of the charts, one of the biggest names in music. But when Justin Timberlake was pulled over on Sunday night, the cop who arrested him for DWI had no idea who he was.
He allegedly got so wasted, he downed his companion's drink. When his friend returned from the bathroom, he reportedly said, "Justin, that's my drink."
As he was getting arrested, Justin said under his breath, "This is going to ruin the tour." The cop replied, "What tour?" Justin said, "The world tour." This exchange triggered a barrage of tweets all trolling Justin Timberlake. One user said, "Gonna start saying, this is going to ruin the tour as a response to every slight inconvenience in my life." Elisep said, "This is going to ruin the tour. I whisper when my PTO request gets denied." Oh, how the mighty fall. For someone so used to being recognized and adored by fans worldwide, Timberlake had just been reduced to explaining who he was. Hours after his arrest, Timberlake was spotted leaving the police station. How did he look? Surprisingly relaxed for someone who had just spent the night behind bars. He strolled out of the facility sporting a casual look. Black dress shirt, jeans, white Nikes, and a pair of shades to cover up those undoubtedly tired eyes. And then came the infamous mugshot, released just hours after his arraignment. Looking somber and somewhat disheveled, JT's image was now circulating the media for all the wrong reasons.
Justin Timberlake's mugshot has been released after he was arrested and charged with drink driving. The so-called Prince of Pop had been reportedly having dinner with friends in New York before being pulled over by police for driving erratically.
The incident didn't just grab headlines. It also inspired a piece of art featuring Justin Timberlake's mugshot. Titled Tuesday Night Out featuring Justin Timberlake. The artwork was created by artist Godfrey Lohman and has become a hit. According to the gallery, visitors have been flocking to see and photograph the piece.
So art is now imitating life out in the Hamptons. The hotel where he was drinking before his arrest is selling some art inspired by JT's mugshot. You can see it here. So it's kind of, I'm no art critic, but I would call it a sort of Warhol-esque take on the Justin Timberlake mugshot. Gallerist at Romani Cremoris Gallery has told us that there are lines out the door. There are pedestrians coming by and taking pictures of the shot. If you want to purchase it yourself, it goes for $520, and you can see it's a limited edition.
On June 19th, a source told ET, Justin is feeling remorseful, ashamed, and humiliated, but also accountable. According to the source, Timberlake does not believe he needs help when it comes to alcohol, instead viewing the incident as a major lapse of judgment. This situation has taken a toll on him, but he is trying to view it as a way that he can reset himself, the source added. He does his best to set a positive example for himself, Jess, his family, and the public, and will continue to try to learn and grow. He is taking this seriously and recognizes how it can impact his family dynamic as a husband and father, and his fans too. Meanwhile, his wife Jessica Biel stood by his side, but sources reported that she was disappointed in Justin. Justin and Jess are very grateful that no one was hurt and that everyone is okay and safe, the source continued. Jess is definitely feeling disappointed, but she is by Justin's side. She acknowledges that Justin and all of us are all human and make mistakes. Can you blame her? This wasn't just a personal issue. It had quickly become a public spectacle. After Timberlake's release, a bartender from Sag Harbor's American Hotel confirmed his arrest, but downplayed the establishment's involvement in his intoxication.
Hampton's hotspot, the American Hotel, Timberlake reportedly ordered a $21 concoction called a Vesper Martini, and it's not for the faint of heart.
Because it's a mix of vodka and gin, you're gonna have a good time.
Unlike a traditional martini, which contains 2.5 ounces of alcohol, a Vesper holds more than 4 ounces.
Just a few days after the arrest, Timberlake took to the stage at the United Center in Chicago for the opening night of his world tour. It would have been easy to brush over the incident, but JT wasn't going to ignore it. During his performance, he addressed the elephant in the room.
We've been together through ups and downs and lefts and rights. And it's been a tough week. But you're here, and I'm here. And nothing can change this moment right now. I know sometimes I'm hard to love, but you keep on loving me, and I love you right back. Thank you so much.
The crowd, showing their unwavering support, roared with applause, giving JT a moment to gather himself. After wiping away what seemed like tears, Timberlake led the audience in a sing-along, turning what could have been an awkward moment into a heartfelt connection with his fans. Just over a month following Timberlake's arrest, a source informed ET that the singer is prepared to face any repercussions that may arise. The source shared, Justin is prepared to face whatever consequences he needs to. He is hoping to learn from this experience and put it behind him. Jess is extremely supportive and helping him navigate everything. While the concert might have been a moment of redemption for Timberlake, the legal consequences of his actions were still looming. Initially, Timberlake pled not guilty to the charge of driving while intoxicated, but the reality of the situation quickly set in. Justin Timberlake's lawyer had stated that the pop star was not intoxicated when he was arrested by police officers last month for driving under the influence.
He was not intoxicated. I'll say it again. Justin Timberlake was not intoxicated. And we're very confident that that criminal charge, will be dismissed.
At his first court hearing on Friday, his lawyer Edward Burke argued that police had made a very significant number of errors in the case.
Inside the courthouse, things got a little tense between the judge and Timberlake's attorney. The judge not happy with Timberlake's attorney Ed Burke's comments that he made last week to the media. The judge said they came off as an attempt to, quote, poison the case before it even begins. He threatened a gag order.
Timberlake did not attend the hearing as it had coincided with the START tour. But the reality of the situation quickly set in. And finally, on September 13th, 2024, Justin pleaded guilty to a lesser charge of driving while impaired. Driving while intoxicated in New York can lead to some serious consequences, up to a year in jail and a $1,000 fine. But after discussions with his legal team and some good old-fashioned legal maneuvering, Timberlake changed his plea to guilty for a lesser charge of driving while impaired. For this, he was hit with 25 to 40 hours of community service, a $500 fine, a 90-day license suspension. But that wasn't all. As part of his punishment, Timberlake was also required to film a public service announcement, warning against the dangers of driving while impaired.
I found myself in a position where I could have made a different decision. And so what I'd like to say to everyone watching and listening, even if you've had one drink, don't get behind the wheel of a car. There's so many alternatives. This is a mistake that I made, but I'm hoping that whoever's watching and listening right now can learn from this mistake. I know that I certainly have. And like I said, even one drink, don't get behind the wheel of a car.
Of course, with every celebrity arrest, there's always the question of whether they're getting special treatment. Did JT get off easy? Some people certainly thought so. Organizations like Mothers Against Drunk Driving, MAD, weighed in, suggesting that Timberlake's punishment wasn't nearly as severe as it would have been for an everyday person. And let's be real, $500 is probably what JT spends on brunch. But there's another layer to this. Rumors of a video. While Timberlake's arrest was public knowledge, the body cam footage hadn't been released to the public. What was in that footage? How bad was it? And could it have been what pushed JT to plead guilty after initially fighting the charges? We may never know. At the end of the day, Timberlake's arrest is a reminder that even the biggest stars are human. They make mistakes, sometimes really public ones. But what do you think? Did Justin Timberlake get off easy because of his celebrity status? Or did he face the music like anyone else would? Let us know in the comments below. Want to know more about the dark past of Justin Timberlake? Click on the video on your screen.